Hello, welcome to Rose Labrina. Disclaimer, I don't own any characters, photos, musics, nor any videos in this. I only own the idea and the story. Without further ado, please enjoy the video.
Here is the underrated couple edition. Sorry I can't include all the rare pairs. Semi, how is Shirabu? Semi scoffed. He knew about the prank and took advantage of it. You should try it with Ushijima. Maybe you can see a side he never showed you before. Semi's words lingered in Tendo's head. The red-haired man glanced at his boyfriend, admiring Ushijima, who still taught his underclassmen diligently. Satori. Are you okay? Tendou jolted a bit as suddenly Ushijima was standing in front of him. I'm okay, Wakatashi-kun. Ushijima looked skeptical, because Tendou kept daydreaming all day. I'll be done in a few minutes, then we can go back to our dorm. Wakatashi-kun. Can we go back earlier? Yes? What's wrong? Tendou bit his lips, embarrassed. Babe, I'm sick. Ushijima's pupils dilated for a while, then he quickly bumped his forehead to the man. You don't have a fever, but let me check again. Ushijima touched his neck, ears, then he put his ears on Tendo's chest as a stethoscope. Tendou groaned and blushed. The sight of Ushijima touching him all over was quite embarrassing, especially there in public. Wakatashi-kun, see, can we go back first before you do this? I'm not feeling well. Alright, can you walk? I could carry you if you want. Tendou quickly threw away the image of him being carried. They're going to be the talk of the dorm if they see them like that. No, it's fine, I can walk. Don't walk too far from me. Ushijima pulled the man by his waist, making sure Tendou was stable and safe. Tendou blinked at this gesture. Somehow he felt loved. His boyfriend guided him slowly, glaring at their friends, who were curious, and trying to ask them. He's sure he could never see their friends without getting embarrassed after this. When they arrived at their dorm, Tendou leaped towards the bed and sighed in relief. He's a bit tired mentally from the exams. Satori, how long have you been feeling like this? Since morning? I don't know, maybe it's just a fatigue, the stress piling up. Ushijima frowned at this, then sat beside his man, while giving him a cup of hot chocolate. He pulled the blanket to cover Tendou, then he ruffled the man's hair softly. Sorry for not noticing. Tendou blushed at Ushijima's dejected tone. The man looked like a lost puppy. It's fine. It's not a serious illness after all. No need for medicine either. I'm just going to sleep. But I can't bear to see you in low spirit. I promised myself that I won't let you lose that smile, not even to sickness. Eh? You made that kind of promise? Tendou chuckled and hugged the man back. He hummed, getting comfortable at his private body pillow. Ushijima. Wakatashi-kun, why are you so cute? I never see you getting so serious like this. I'm always serious when it's about you. You're my boyfriend, I'll make sure to take care of you. I love you. Tendou blushed hard, then hid his face under the blanket, because of the sudden confession. Satori. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell again? The red-haired man shook his head, but Ushijima kept pulling the blanket to see his boyfriend. When his face was exposed, Ushijima looked stunned and chuckled. His laugh was a very rare thing to hear, and it's Tendo's privilege only. Satori. Won't you reply? Wakatashi-kun, you only show this side of you for me, right? This cruel and pushy version. Am I being cruel? Ushijima asked that with a smirk, clearly enjoying what he's doing. Tendou huffed, pulling the man closer, and buried his head on the man's white shoulder. Alright, I love you too, miracle boy. The red-haired man smiled as he closed his eyes. This prank was truly helpful. Ushijima hugged his boyfriend closer, then gently kissed the man's forehead. Satori. Can I request something? What is it, Wakatashi-kun? Can you call me babe from now? Kita. Is there something wrong? No, sorry Aran, let's go. They both walked home together as usual. There's not much difference from before they became a boyfriend. Kita glanced at the man. His thought went back to Atsuma's words earlier. The twins and Suna convince him to do a prank. Are you really fine? You've been sighing a lot today. You can always tell me, is it about the next captain selection? No, I've decided that since long before. It's another problem. What is it? Aran stopped the man by grabbing his arms. He leaned closer, worried look evident on his eyes. Kita's heart beats faster at their close distance. Kiss? Aran? Why you suddenly? Sorry Kita. You looked so cute. I can't help it, sorry. Both men blushed. They weren't that touchy in the first place. You might cough my sickness though. Huh. You're sick? Kita. Why didn't you tell me? Kita didn't get the chance to say the sentence because Aran was already panicking. Then, do you want to come to my home? You're alone, right? Wait, I don't mean anything. I just thought that you need someone to take care of you. Aran, I'm fine. I used to be like this too. Don't say that again. You have me. You don't have to do things alone anymore. Kita went stiff at Aran's outburst. Then he chuckled and sighed. Sorry Aran, yeah, I'm not alone anymore, I got you. Aran blushed and scratched his neck awkwardly. Let's go, Kita. Aran intertwined their fingers together, making Kita shook, as the man never did it so daringly before. He chuckled and followed his boyfriend to his house. Wait, what should I do first? Oh I know, let's check your injury first. Aran, I'm sick not injured. Sorry my bad, now sit down first at the couch. Oh wait, you should be lying down on your bed right now. But your room is a mess? Kita got up and folded his sleeves, getting ready to clean up his man's room. No don't move, I'll clean it myself, you're sick. Oh right, have this ginger drink first to warm your stomach. Here, a blanket if you feel cold. Aran quickly dashed towards his room, carrying various brooms and mops. Kita sighed, resting his head and pulled the blanket. He slowly closed his eyes, getting sleepy. Maybe because he's in Aran's house, it smelled like him, warm and comforting. Crash. Don't worry Kita. I'm fine. Don't come here, and stay there okay? Kita got worried at the noises, but he stayed at the couch, and eventually fell asleep. When he's awake, the house was much cleaner than before, and there's a delicious smell in the air. Eat a lot. You're eating too little. Here, eat the meat so you can get better quickly. Kita. Why are you staring at me like that? No, it's just funny to see you nagging at me. Kita chuckled and started eating. He was about to confess that it's just a prank, but Aran stopped him first. Well, I want to show you that I'm also capable to dote on my boyfriend. Are you mad at that? Kita shook his head and patted the man's cheeks. You did well, thank you. Ryu. Are you planning something again? Tanaka jolted in surprise when he turned around. What are you saying Chikara, haha? I'm not planning anything. Ennoshita squinted his eyes in disbelief. Meanwhile, Tanaka was cursing as just now he was about to do a prank from Nishinoya's suggestion. When you're lying you became quiet. Did you hide something from me? As expected Ennoshita could see through Tanaka easily. The bald man cleared his throat and scratched his neck. It's not true. And I'm quiet not because of that. Then? What's it? Babe, I'm sick. Ennoshita made a confused face. You're sick? Which part? Your mind? Hey Chikara. No need to be rude. Well, I ate something bad this morning, I guess. Huff, you ate something, or you forgot to eat. Both. I felt terrible already since last night. Ennoshita flicked the man's forehead and scowled. Then go home, I'll tell Daichi-san you won't join the practice. No, I'm still fine, see? No way I'm not attending practice just because of this mere stomachache. Tanaka faked throwing up, making Ennoshita panic. Ryu. Wait, don't throw up. Let me search for something. Are you fine? Let's go to a doctor. No, just the infirmary is fine. Ennoshita led the man towards the infirmary, then took the prescribed medicine, and went home. Your sister. Is she at home right now? Should I call her? Don't know, maybe she's still out. It's fine, I'll be better in no time. No way, you're this pale and cold. Just what on earth did you eat yesterday? Really Ryu, you have to take care of your health. Tanaka chuckled and ruffled the man's hair. I have you for that right, Chikara. You're lucky I love you, now get in and don't talk back. Ennoshita huffed. Based on what the teacher said, Tanaka got a food poisoning. He reheated the food inside the fridge, then served it on the table. Wow, it smells good. It had akimazu. Wait Chikara, you're not eating? Ennoshita scoffed and pinched the man's nose. This is for you, I'm full just watching you eat. Just say that I eat messily. Tanaka pouted, making Ennoshita snorted and wiped the leftover on the man's mouth. He licked it and smirked. No worries, I'll eat like this. Tanaka blushed, his boyfriend wasn't that innocent after all. He took the medicine, he asked the teacher, and she said it's fine to eat it, although he's not really sick. Now what? Don't sleep first, let's watch something on the couch. Toy Story 3. Ennoshita chuckled. He took Tanaka's hand and pulled him to the living room. They enjoyed the movie together, with Tanaka resting his head on Ennoshita's shoulders. You know, if you want me to do this, no need to pretend that you're sick. What do you mean, Chikara? I heard the prank from Noya, you're doing it, right? You should have told me if you knew. Ennoshita smirked and leaned down to kiss his boyfriend's head. I knew, but I want to do this for you too. Yahaba sighed again, hearing his senpai pestered him to do a weird prank. He knew from Oikawa and Hanamaki, both of them kept trying to make him do the prank. What are you doing? Yahaba jumped slightly when he heard the man's voice. Nothing, I'm fine. KyoTani raised his eyebrows, but he didn't say anything. They walked silently towards their houses, which were closed, surprisingly. If you don't like to walk back with me, then don't. Huh. I didn't hate it? Why did you think like that? Because you seem to be more cheerful when you're with senpais. Yahaba watched dumbly at his man, then he chuckled as he realized his boyfriend was sulking. Silly, I'm just not feeling well. I think I'm sick. KyoTani stopped and widened his eyes in shock. You're sick? Since when? Do you have any meds at home? No, but let's go then. KyoTani pulled Yahaba's arms and ran towards the nearest pharmacy. Yahaba's sweat dropped as he saw the long queue. We should go home. But your medicine. Yahaba couldn't handle KyoTani's puppy eyes and gave in. It took an hour and it made him annoyed, as he's hungry. Wait here, okay? KyoTani ran, then walked back and carried 2 hot potato. Here, sorry, I can't find anything else. You should eat first before you take the medicine, right? KyoTani busied himself with reading the medicine instructions. It made Yahaba chuckle, as he knew the man never got that sick. Moreover, nursing a sick man. Thanks, do you want to come to my house? Can I? I mean, the last time I went there was. Yahaba blushed. Last time he did a prank too, the wearing bathrobe only challenge, and it went wrong. It's fine. You don't have to come. Well, I want to come, can I? Yahaba sighed and looked down. You can. Let's go, it's cold. KyoTani reached for Yahaba's hands and rubbed their hands together to make it warm. Then he tightened their interlocked fingers and walked, while trying so hard to hide his red cheeks. Yahaba didn't protest and smiled. His boyfriend could be a softie too at times. Sorry for the intrusion. KyoTani murmured awkwardly, as he's not used to say it. Yahaba gestured him to sit on the couch, while he's getting a drink. Wait, don't go, rest, don't mind me. KyoTani pulled the man into his room. Luckily they took a bath at the school already. He helped, forcefully, Yahaba to change his clothes, then dragged him to the bed. Your meds, here's your water. If you need me I'll be outside, just rest. Yahaba eyed the medicine in KyoTani, who was about to leave. Wait Kendaro, it's cold. KyoTani raised his eyebrows and checked the heater, it's working properly. Then he took a sweater from inside the wardrobe and made his man wear it. Say, still cold. Yahaba hid his face under the blanket, too embarrassed to say it out loud. Luckily KyoTani took the hint and blushed. Oh, then excuse me. Wait, are you actually sick, or it's just an excuse? Say that again and I'll kick you out. KyoTani shut his mouth immediately, then lied down beside the man. He gulped and rested his hand on Yahaba's waist protectively. Yahaba smiled. That prank wasn't too bad, he should thank his senpais tomorrow. They both drifted into dreamland with each other's warmth. Are you closing the store? Ukai turned around and smiled at the sight of his boyfriend. Well, 10 more minutes, you rarely come here, not like I complain. Takeda walked closer towards the man, while carrying a ginger drink. Really, what's wrong with the kids? Why are they suddenly ditching practice? Is it the trend now? Takeda cleared his throat nervously, he knew why the players were taking a leave. Well, I've been thinking that maybe you want to close the shop early too? Ukai looked confused at Takeda's persuasive tone. Are you okay? Me? I'm fine, of course. Oh, do you have a sore throat candy? Here, who is it for? It's for me, I'm not feeling well lately. Tell right, how much is it? Wait, sensei, Itatsu, you're sick. Yeah babe, I'm sick. That's why I'm thinking of going home early, or else I won't be at school tomorrow. Ukai froze in terror when he imagined himself alone at practice. No way. I'm not going to handle those kids alone. Wait, did you get a cold? Ukai stood up and touched Takeda's forehead. It's a bit warm because Takeda put a hot pack before. This man was going all out for this prank. You're warm, wait, I think I have a good medicine. Takeda chuckled as he saw the man ran inside, then went out with a large white box. This is the old man's emergency kit, you might find something useful here. Wait, let me see, cough meds, muscle bomb. This one. Takeda touched the medicine, then the man's hands on purpose, while smiling innocently. His fingers went up, moving on Ukai's arms, up to his neck. You're clumsy for an adult, K-kun. Ukai blushed and looked away. He knew his boyfriend was always a big flirt. Okay then, here's the money, just keep the change. Wait, don't go. Ukai pulled the man by grabbing his waist. You can go in first, if you want. Sorry, maybe you want to go home, it's fine too. I'll close the store. I'd love to, do you mind if I'm staying the night? Well, just in case you want to. Thought you're not gonna ask first, come here. Takeda walked closer and gave in when Ukai held him. The blonde man sighed as he felt his boyfriend's warmth. It's been so long since the last time they're hugging like this. Let me close the shop first, then I'll take care of you. Wait, let me stay in this position, I miss you. Ukai smiled and kissed the man's neck lightly. I miss you too, sorry we can't be like this in front of the kids. Takeda laughed and nuzzled his nose on Ukai's chest. The kids are going to faint if they see us like this. Let them see, it's because of the practice I can't spend much time with you. But because of that we met, right? You're right, alright now let me carry you inside. You have to listen, if you want to be better tomorrow. Ukai lifted the man easily in a bridal style. Takeda chuckled, then he kissed the man's cheeks. I'll be in your care, K-kun. They went inside, flirting all the way. But then Ukai forgot one thing, he didn't close the store yet. And there's a certain group of students who were watching inside the store with wide eyes. Let's pretend we didn't see that, okay?
That's all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification for my channel. You may watch the playlist I put here or the recommended video. See you in another series or challenge video.